of A Christmas Carol. Before we start, I've got a few announcements the Theater Guild asked me to tell you. Let's see. Oh, here's the list. Checking it twice tonight. Getting ready for another week. Now, before we begin, a small favor to ask everyone in the audience here. All you kids, remind the grown-ups you're with that taking photographs is not allowed. Those interested in photos, you can talk to the box office before leaving. And grown-ups, it's your job to remind the kids that this is live theater and it's not like television. You can't turn up the sound to make it louder. Please remind them that they have to be very quiet and pay attention. Oh, they'll miss what's going on. And you certainly don't want to do that. Another note for the grown-ups. Don't forget the rest of the season here. It will continue with the famous rock and roll musical Grease in February, Neil Simon's hit The Sunshine Boys in April, and Lerner and Lowe's Brigadoon in June, when I'm taking my summer vacation where it's warm. That's all I've got for now, but I'll see you all at Christmas. In the meantime, enjoy the Display Theater Guild production of A Christmas Carol. Oh, Merry Christmas to all!
Once upon a time, of all good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Ebenezer Scrooge, member of the firm of Scrooge Marley and Company, sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, white weather, and he could hear the people in the court outside go wheezing up and down, beating their hands upon their breasts and stamping their feet upon the pavement to keep warm. The city clocks had just gone 3, but it was quite dark already. The candles were glaring in the windows of the neighboring offices, like ruddy smears upon the brown air.
December 25th. A year older, and yet not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with a Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding, he should.
May I have tomorrow off, sir?
I suppose you must. Would you be here all the earlier the next morning?
Yes, sir, and thank you, sir.
Who is it, Granton?
2 ladies, sir. I don't know who they are.
Well, let them in.
Scrooge and Marley, I believe. Do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. Well, since you ask, he died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt that the morality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive season, Mr. Scrooge, we find it more than desirable to make some slight provisions for the poor and destitute. At this moment, sir, many are in want of common necessities and are suffering greatly.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
None the Union workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are. Still, I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and poor Laura in full vigor.
Both are very busy.
Oh, I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
But, sir, these organizations scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind or body to these unfortunate people.
It's because there are few of us are endeavoring to raise a sum to buy the poor so meat and drink for means of war.
We choose this time because it is a time of all others when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices.
What should I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, that is my answer. I don't go around making merry myself at Christmas. My partner Marley never did. And I can't afford to make either people merry. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned, and they cost well enough. And those that are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there, and many would rather die than go there.
They had rather die than they had better do it than decrease the surplus population. Besides, it's not my business. So I bid the two of you good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, who is it, Granted?
It's your nephew, sir.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Ah, humbug.
Christmas, a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be married? What reason have you to be married? You're poor now.
Come then. We're trying to be dismal. We're trying to be very remorseful. You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug.
Don't be angry.
Well, what else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon a Merry Christmas. What's it to you but a time of paying bills without money? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with a Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding, he should.
Uncle,
Nephew, your Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then. Much good it has ever done you, or will.
My uncle, it has done me a lot of good. Apart from the sacred celebration, it's brought me a good time. A kind, forgiving, charitable, happy time. The only time I know in the whole calendar where men and women open their hearts. Uncle, hearts that sometimes stay closed the rest of the year. Yes, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. And I say God bless it.
You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
No, I won't dine with you.
Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I felt it.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
Nay, Uncle, you never came to see me before I was married. Why give that as reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
Uncle, we've never had a quarrel to which I've been a party, and we never will. I've come to see you on homage to Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas good to the last. So, Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year!
Bye.
After such a disturbing afternoon, Scrooge took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and having read all the newspapers, went home to bed. He lived in chambers which had once belonged to the rascal old partner Marley, a gloomy suite of rooms, old and dreary, where no one lived but Scrooge, the other rooms being there on his offices. Once in his apartment he closed and locked his door, and in his usual fashion put on his dressing gown and slippers, and sat down before the fire to take his evening gruel. The fire was very low indeed, casting eerie shadows on the walls, and he was obliged to sit close to it and brood over it before he could extract any warmth from it. As he leaned forward in his chair, his glance happened to rest upon a bell, and there was a great astonishment and a strange dread that, as he looked, he saw this bell begin to swing, first softly, then so loudly that every bell in the house joined in also. This must have lasted for half a minute or so. Scrooge just seemed like a terrifying hour. The bell ceased, only to be followed by a strange noise deep down below, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain over the casks in the wine-merchant's cellar. Scrooge then remembered that ghosts and haunted houses were just trying to stand his chains. Then felt a series of strange sounds, as if feet marching stairs moved closer and closer toward his room. Scrooge awaited some strange happening was about to occur, hugged his shivering body and waited in fear and trembling.
I know you. I know you. These ghosts. How now? What do you want with me?
Much.
Well, who are you?
Ask me who I was.
All right, who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you stop?
I can.
Do it then.
You don't believe in me.
I don't.
What evidence do you have of my reality beyond your own senses?
I don't know.
Why now your senses?
Well, because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach can make them cheats. But you may be an undigested bit of beef, or a blood of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of grave than of the grave of you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you. Humbug. Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Man of worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do. I must. Why do spirits walk the earth? Why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world. And it is what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth.
You are better. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link. And by my own free will I wore it. Would you know the weight of this strong coil you bear yourself? It was full as heavy as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is indeed a ponderous chain.
Tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give. Comfort comes from other regions than Ebenezer Scrooge, and is conveyed by other ministers to other kinds of men. Nor can I tell you what I would. Very little more is all permitted to me. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger anywhere. In life, my spirit never walked beyond the narrow limits of our counting house. Mark me, and weary journeys lie before me.
Well, you must have been very slow about it, Jacob.
Slow.
7 years dead and traveling all the time.
The whole time. No rest, no peace.
You travel fast.
On the wings of the wind.
Must have gotten over a quantity of ground in 7 years, Jacob.
Oh, captive, not to know that any Christian spirit in its little sphere will find its mortal life too short for its usefulness. Not to know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life's opportunities misused. Yet such was I, oh, such was I.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. At this time of the year, I suffer most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellows moving with my eyes turned down? I never raised unto that blessed star who sent the wise man to a poor abode. Were there no poor hopes which his life would have conducted me? Hear me! My time is nearly gone.
All right, I will. But don't be hard upon me. Don't be flowery, Jacob. Pray.
How it is that I appear before you in a shape that you can see, I may not tell. I have sat invisible beside you many and many a day. That is no like part of my penance. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance to see in my fate.
You were always a good friend to me. Thank you.
Hear me! You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you have mentioned, Jacob?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour, the third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 ceases to vibrate. Look to see no more! No more!
Slowly and quietly, the specter floated out upon a dark, bleak night, leaving Scrooge dazzled with curiosity. After a moment, he followed and went to the window and looked out. The air was filled with phantoms, wandering hither and thither in restless haste, moaning as they went. Every one of them wore chains like Marley's ghost. Many he knew personally, old friends who had passed on, business acquaintances, all bound and fettered and wailing in mournful dirge. The misery of them was all clear, but they sought to help in human matters, but had lost the power forever. With a painful sigh, Scrooge closed the window and examined the door by which the ghost had entered. It was double locked, just as he had locked it in the early evening. He tried to say humbug, but stopped at the first syllable, and feeling of much need of repose, went straight to bed and fell asleep on the instant. Subconsciously, from deep in the realms of sleep, Scrooge heard the clock toll the quarter hour, the half hour, and remembered that the ghost had warned him of a visitation on the stroke of one. Recalling this, he dozed fitfully. On the instant of one, as he lay there, the light flashed up in his room. For a moment, he blinked, then stared wide-eyed at what he saw before him.
Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold me?
I am.
Well, who and what are you?
I'm the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Well, what then? What would you of me?
Rise and walk with me.
I am mortal, liable to fall.
Nay, my hand will support thee. Look beyond. What see you?
Good heavens. Why, I was a boy here. All this I remember well.
Your lip is trembling. What is that upon your cheek?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. Lead on, spirit. I follow.
You recollect the way?
Remember, it's the path of my boyhood. I could walk in blindfold.
Strange to have forgotten for so many years. Strange. But let us go on. Ah, a school. Do you remember? But of course you do. Even though it is Christmas Eve, however, it is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
I know him all too well. My own lost boyhood. My lonely self.
You recall the old brick schoolhouse with its weathercock and the school bell hanging from its roof? Look now. The walls are damp and mossy, the windows broken, the gates decayed. Look within at the poor boy who still reads in the feeble fire.
Poor lonely boy. Well, it was that day my little sister Fan came with the news that she had persuaded Father to let me come home for Christmas. She clapped her tiny hands when she told me that Father had sent a coach to fetch me, that we all might have a Merry Christmas together.
Did you go?
Ah, yes, merrily. The trunk tied on top of the chaise and the quick wheels dashing through the snow.
Your sister is always a delicate creature whom a breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right, I will not gainsay it, Spirit. God forbid.
She died a woman and had, I believe, one child.
Yes, my nephew, Fred.
Well, shall we leave the boy at his desk?
I wish... it's too late now.
What is too late?
Last night, a group of children were singing Christmas carols by my door. I should have liked to give them something, that's all.
Let us see another Christmas.
So the ghosts of Christmas cast little old Scrooge down in memories of long ago. Each separate experience recalling moments quite forgotten. The spirit stood at a certain warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it. No, it was apprentice here, cried Scrooge. And the joy of the evening came over him as he saw his old employer behind a high desk What power we have to render those happy or unhappy. The power of words and deeds, as if it cost a fortune. He felt the spirit's buzz and stopped. What's the matter, asked the spirit. Nothing in particular, said Scrooge. Just now I should like to say a couple of words to my clerk, Bob Cratchit, that's all. Once again, Scrooge and the spirit stood side by side in the open air. My time goes short, observed the spirit. Look! And Scrooge looked. This time, seeing himself as a man of the final life. He was not alone. He sat by the side of a very young girl. In his eyes there were tears which sparkled from the light that shone forth of the ghost of Christmas past.
It matters little to you. Very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer or comfort you when time to come, as I would have tried to, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on which the world is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing that professes to condemn with such severity as pursuit of wealth.
Why, Ebenezer, you fear the world too much. All your other hopes merge into the one hope of being beyond the chance of the soul reproach. Reproach of honesty. I've seen your nobler aspirations fall, one by one, until the master passion gain and grosses you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I'm not changed toward you, am I?
Our contract is an old one. Maybe we were both poor and content to be so, until in good season we could improve our fortune by our patient industry. When it was made, Ebenezer, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feelings, though, you are not the same. I am. That which promised happiness when we one at heart, start with misery now that we are two. How often and keen that it robs us, I will not say. It is enough that I thought of it, and can release you.
Have I sought release?
In words? No, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, an altered spirit, in everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. If this had ever been before us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? Ah, no.
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise, if I could. Heaven knows I would. But if you were free today, tomorrow, can even I believe that you would choose a dowerless girl? You and your very confidence with her weigh everything by gain? Or even if you should, do I not know that regret would surely follow? I do. As I release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were, may you be happy in the life you've chosen.
Spirits, conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more! No more. I don't wish to see it.
But the relentless ghost, pitying him in both his arms, it forced him to observe what happened next. They were in another seat and place, a room, not very large and handsome, but full of comfort and Christmas cheer. Near to the winter fire sat a mother and her daughter, so like in her loveliness that he caught his breath to think that the kindly matron by once had called him husband. And another such creature, as quite as graceful, as full of promise as her daughter, by once had called him father. But in the springtime in the haggard winter of his life. Spirits, cried Scrooge, remove me from this place. I cannot bear it. Leave me. Take me back. Haunt me no longer. In his anguish he wrestled with the ghost of Christmas past, but found he was only struggling with a strange, unbroken life. Conscious of being exhausted and drowsy, and of being in his own bedroom, barely enough time to reel to bed before he sank in a heavy sleep. On the instant of one, he woke in the middle of a prodigiously deep snore. He sat upright. He knew that the second messenger, which was dispatched to him through Jacob Marlin's intervention, would shortly present itself, and he wished at this time to challenge it the moment of its appearance. However, no spirit came. 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed till the clock proclaimed the hour, and he still sat alone. At last he began to think. Throughout the hour he had seen a strange golden light about the clock, and he wondered if in the adjoining room he would find its weird source. He had hardly moved when a strange voice called him by name and bade him to enter. It was his own room, there was no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceilings were so long living green that it
lesson, which is working now. Tonight, if you're about to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe. Come. Now what see you?
See gaiety and Christmas cheer everywhere. Stores lighted up, and holly and mistletoe.
That store, over there. Do you see it?
Yes, I do.
Look inside and tell me what you remember.
That hobby horse. That must be the one that Bob Cratchit was talking so fondly about the other day. The one he asked me for a raise for, that he could buy Tiny Tim.
That noise. Do you know whose house that is?
Ah, yes. That is the humble home of my clerk, Bob Cratchit. Look, Spirit, how happy the children are, how they help their mother set the table.
What has ever got your father then? And your brother, Tiny Tim? And Mom, the warrant is late past Christmas Day by half an hour. Here I am, Mother.
Here's my hooray! There's such a goose, Martha.
Why, bless my heart, dear, how late you are. We had a deal of work to finish up last night. Never mind, so long as you're come. Sit ye down before the fire and warm yourself.
Father's coming. Hi, Martha, hi.
And who is that man who enters so merrily carrying the tiny crippled lad in his arms?
That's Sarah's Bob Cratchit and his son, Tiny Tim. Look, Spirit, how tenderly his father cares for him.
Why, where's our Martha?
Oh, not coming.
Not coming upon Christmas Day.
Here I am, Father. And how did our little Tim behave?
As good as gold. He told me coming home that he hoped the people saw him because he was a cripple. And it might be pleasant to remember, upon Christmas Day, who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Spirit, tell me, will Tiny Tim live?
I see a vacant seat in the porch in the corner and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows lay an altar by the future, child will die.
No, say he will live to be spared.
Why so? If he be like to die, he'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Man, if man you be in heart, will you decide what man shall live, what man shall die? Is in the sight of heaven that you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
'Tis truth you speak.
No, you must go on. Hold my robe. Now, man, now what see you?
I see my nephew, Fred, with his family. Look, Spirit, how heartily he laughs and how they join him.
What else?
They joke about me. They drink to my health and happiness, knowing that I lack both. They laugh that I miss the dinner they offer. But in truth, they seem to wish for my presence.
You observe well.
All those games they play, I remember them. I almost like to join in their sport.
I leave you. My life on this globe is very brief.
Are Spirit's lives so short?
Mine ends tonight at midnight. Hark, time is drawing near. I go, but another comes.
You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come? You are about to show me the shadows of things that have not happened, and will happen in the time before us. Is that so? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen. Yet I know your purpose is to do me good, as I hope to be another man from what I was. Will you not speak to me? Lead on, Spirit. Your voices, men and women talking of one who is dead. You rejoice in his death. You speak with cold dislike. You quarrel over his possessions. And the sheets from his bed and the curtains from his windows. You've even taken the shirt from his dead body. Spirit, 'tis before I witnessed this. I see the case of this unhappy man. My fame might be my own. I beg you, let me see some tenderness connected with death so that I may forget the horror of what I've just seen. I beg you, say it. Lead on, Spirit.
calm, conducted it for the second time to the house of his poor clerk, and found Mrs. Cratchit and all the little Cratchits with the still statues around the fire, looking up at Peter who had a book before him. The mother was engaged in sewing, but Tiny Tim was nowhere in sight.
And he took a child and set him in the midst of them.
The color hurts my eyes, but they are better now. It would never do for me to show weak eyes to your father.
It must be nearest time. Yes, Brianna, but I think he has walked a little slower than he used to in his last few evenings, Mother.
I've known to walk the tiny Tim upon his shoulders very fast indeed.
And so have I often.
And so have I. And he was so light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble, no trouble. And here he is at the door now.
I wish you could have seen how green a place is where he will lay. It would have done you good, my dear, but you'll see it often. I promised him we would walk there on a Sunday. Oh, my little Tim, my little Tim.
Don't be sorrowful, Robert. He is where our little angels go, and we must be happy and gay this Christmas as it would happen.
Of course we must. We must be closer than ever before and happier. But however, and whenever we part from one another, I am sure that we shall none of us forget poor Tiny Tim, or this first parting that there was among us.
Never, Father, never. Oh, no, Father.
And I know, my children, that when we recollect how patient and mild he was, though he was a little child, I am sure we shall not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget poor Tiny Tim in doing it.
No, never, Father.
I am very happy, dear, for him and for us all.
And I too. This shall be a Merry Christmas.
Once again, the silent host of Christmas yet to come beckons Scrooge to follow. First leading him past the window of his own counting house that he might look in. Scrooge hastened to see what the future held for him there, who saw nothing that he recognized. It was an office as before, but not his. Another had taken his place and sat at the desk which had been his for so many years. He bowed his head that he might erase the sight. The phantom beckoned to mind, pointing as before, this time to an old churchyard overrun with grass and weeds, forgotten and unattended. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed solemnly to one.
Before I draw near to that stone which you point, answer me just one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or are they the shadows of things that only may be? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends, no doubt. These courses be departed from, the ends will change. Say it as thus with what you show me. Thank you, say it. Me. I gave that his guard to that stone. I'm the man whose death they welcome, over whose possessions they quarrel. Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I am not the man I must have been for this intervention. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Spirit, your hand trembles. Your nature intercedes for me and pities me. I will live in the past, present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Please tell me I may sponge away the writing on this stone. I beg you, tell me!
In his agony, old Scrooge caught the spectral hand. It sought to free itself, but he was strong as the entreaty and detained it. The spirit struck a yellow pulse. Holding up his hands in a last prayer to have his fate reversed, he saw a sudden alteration in the phantom's face. Its strong
say it on my knees. On my knees, Jacob. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Hello! Hello! Merry Christmas to everybody! A Happy New Year to all the world! I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. Hello, my fine fellow. What day is this?
Christmas Day, sir.
Christmas Day. Oh, hooray, hooray. I haven't missed it after all. Tell me, delightful boy, do you know the poulterers on the corner?
I should say I do.
Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
What? The one as big as me? I should say not.
Well, delightful boy, go and buy it. I have it sent to Bob Cratchit in Camden Town. Here's half a crown for the turkey. And a half a crown for you too.
Thank you, sir.
Merry Christmas! Jacob, I don't know where you are, but you must be close by. So listen to my heart's desire. First, I shall dress in my best. Then after a visit to church, shall go out into the streets if only to wish the passers-by a Merry Christmas. I shall pet the heads of the tiny children that walk by. Then I shall walk over to my nephew's, Fred's house. Oh, how surprised they will be to have me sit with them in happy fellowship. And finally, my path will lead me to the home of my nephew, my clerk, Bob Cratchit. Only to partake of that splendid bird with them. To whisper in Bob's ear that so long as I live, one shall not darken their door again. Jacob, and go most of all, to bring the joy of Christmas to Tiny Tim.
So, dressing himself just as he had planned, he set out, as light and heart as a boy, wishing Uncle Castor by the merriest of Christmases. He went to church, questioned beggars, and patted all the little children on the head. Some people laughed at the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and little heeded them, for he knew that nothing ever happened on the slope for good, and which some people did not have their bill blacked at the outset. In the afternoon, he turned his steps first toward his nephew's home. We went with affection and was received with happy welcome. Finally arriving at the house of Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim, where we found them seated around the table, making ready to partake of the fine work he had sent them.
Dear Lord, thank you very much for the food we have set before us. I thank you for the health of all my children and my wife too. Amen.
May I join you in your Christmas feast this Christmas Day, Bob Cratchit?
Oh, yes, sir, and welcome.
Oh, please sit down, Mr. Scrooge. Please sit down.
Well, a Merry Christmas to you and yours, Bob Cratchit. And a Merry Christmas to